ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथां विदं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता शिविशाखां विदं श्याम। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुदे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिने नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनदारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसूप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वादीन् प्राणां नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। जयदं सुहृदो पङ्गुर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति सर्वस्य पादाम्बुजो राधामदनमोहनो नमादिदेवं करुणानिधानं कमालवर्णं सुहृदावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्र सेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपं। परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षीय क्षराय दे सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तुमे। गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो। हरे कृष्णा हरि ओम तत्सत्। So welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class, and so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam first canto, fifth chapter, 11th sloka onwards. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धपत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवा। तद्वाद्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमपद्यपत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवा। ये मयूरी माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
कृष्ण।
तद्वाक् विसर्गजन्ता अगविप्लवः यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम् अवद्धवति अपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशा अंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गणन्ति साधवः।
उमा।
हरे कृष्णा। तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताकविप्लवः यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबाधवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽन्तानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः।
Vivek Prabhu, translation please.
Hare Krishna Puji.
Hare Krishna.
On the other hand, that literature which is full of description of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words, directed towards bringing about a revolution in the pious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are here sung and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest.
Very good. So on the other hand, so in the previous sloka, last week we discussed those words that do not describe the transcendental qualities, pastimes, name, and form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is something like a place for the pilgrimage of the cross. Okay. What does it mean? General people find happiness in mundane literature. Now, the peak, the cross, where they find happiness? In filthy places, garbage, where garbages are thrown. Now, the pig eats a stool of the human beings. Okay, can't even imagine that. Similarly, such birds and other some creatures, they find happiness or pleasure in some dirty things. So even the general people who find happiness in mundane literatures, novels, stories, they are considered to be like place of pilgrimage, like cross. And how here, Vyasdeva is telling, on the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendent glories of name, fame, forms, pastime, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation. So those literatures which has full of description of the transcendent Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. Name, fame, forms, pastime, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj used to take out every day some patrika. I forgot the name of the patrika. About the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, depicting different pastimes and such stories of. So people were asking him, how you are getting this, stuff for everyday literature? Then he said, every moment we can bring out one literature about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's unlimited. His pastimes are unlimited. Okay, just like we can, the scientists in this material world can still figure out how much atoms are there in this universe. How much atoms they may be able to figure out one day, but we will not be able to count the number of pastimes, the unlimited pastimes the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what to speak of every day releasing one, bulletin or one magazine about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Every moment we can bring out. That much is, leelas that the Supreme Lord does here. But we, the mundane people of this material world, doesn't know about that. Because we are going for pilgrimage in such place where even the animals doesn't go. Our interest is not in the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his pastimes, his forms, his rupa, his leela and other thing. Our interest is totally material. We are totally going away from Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's why it said that it is full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious life. Why it's revolution? Because we are all contaminated. We are all contaminated. And simply by reciting this transcendent literature, our contamination gets purified. That much potency, this literatures, the spiritual literatures, the leelas, the form, the guna, rupa, and so it brings revolution in the impious lives of the birds in misdirected civilization. It's specifically mentioned here, misdirected. Our civilization is what we are supposed to do, we are not doing that. Our life is for self-realization, but we are after sense gratification. So we are in general misdirected civilization. So to bring in a revolution for all of us, to take us to the right path, we should, have a paradigm shift. What is that shift? We should stop all the mundane literatures which gives temporary pleasures to our senses. Instead, we should try to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, His forms, His leelas, His name and other things, so that it will purify our consciousness and it will direct us to the right destination. Such transcendent literatures, even though imperfectly composed, those transcendent literatures are written or composed or compiled by great personalities like Vyasadeva and all. Okay. But then still, he says, even though it is imperfectly composed, maybe some grammatical error may be there, some other errors may be there, or are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Even though there may be some shortcoming, some imperfect, composition or compilation, but still it is heard, sung, and accepted by purified men, pure devotees who are thoroughly honest. So they don't find pleasure in reading the mundane literature, but even though it may have been composed in a very perfect manner, grammatically and otherwise. But here, such literatures, transliteratures, even though it may not be perfect in its grammatical and other ways, but that should be sung, heard, and glorified and accepted by pure devotees of Supreme Lord. So the importance of accepting the scriptures, the Vedic literatures, stays very high in comparison to the mundane literature. The mundane literatures, it agitates our senses, doesn't purify. Especially some stories, some novels, some adventures, all this, it agitates, isn't it? It is not purifying. If you see a movie, whatever the character in the movie depicts, that goes inside our brain, and knowingly, unknowingly, we try to imitate them, we try to act, or we try to live like them. That's why in the present days, all the youngsters, the youth, they follow the film stars, the sports personalities, other such mundane personalities, because they get addicted to, they are taking them as their role model. Similarly, if we take Krishna and the exalted devotees as our role model, our life is successful. That is what this sloka says. So it is a qualification of the great thinkers to pick up the best even from the worst. So scholars, philosophers, the great thinkers, even among so many bad things, they will find something good. They will pick it up. That's why they are called Paramahamsas. They are called Paramahamsas. The Hamsas pick up only whatever is worthy. Like, if you mix water with milk, it will abstract only milk, leave the water. So the great thinkers pick up the best even from the worst. It is said that the intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place. So if stalk of poison is there, suppose there is some nectar, we should take it. That is what intelligence. And gold is gold, whether it is in a filthy place or in a nice place. So even if it falls down in a filthy place, no, I will not take. Will we say that? Suppose 1 kilo gold is in the garbage. Will we take it or we'll just leave it? What do we do?
We will take it, Prabhu.
We'll take it. That time we will not, so it's filthy. If it is something not valuable, it doesn't have value. If it falls, we'll put our hand, no, because it's not worthy. So gold has its worth. So we'll, even at the cost of making our hands dirty, we'll put. That's why Prabhupada says, should accept gold even from a filthy place. Okay, even in poison, there is little one drop of nectar we should try. Should accept a good and qualified wife, even from an obscure family, and should accept a good lesson, even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchable. So, wife can be accepted even from a low caste family, or in a family who are addicted to abominable activities. If she is chaste and good, even from that family we can accept. If she is cultured. And we should take lesson from a teacher who comes from untouchables. We accept and we follow Prahlad Maharaj, even though he is born in a Asuric family. So these are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in every place without exception. So, but a saint is far above the level of an ordinary man. So these are the general ethical instructions, but when it comes to a saintly personality, he should not be compared to an ordinary person. Far above the level of an ordinary man. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the transliteratures like Srimad Bhagavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. So just to purify our mentality, our consciousness, okay, and to direct us from the misdirected civilization, we should glorify the Supreme Personality. By the way, why do we chant? Why do we do devotional service? What's the purpose behind, or why do we chant? Okay, let me put it this. All of you. Vivek Prabhu, why do we chant?
It will purify us, Guruji.
Just to purify our consciousness.
Also,
Very good. Yes. Uma, why do you chant? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Breaking. Okay, no problem. Kapil Prabhu, why do we chant?
Prabhuji, for purification.
Very bold. Mayuri Mataji.
Self-purification.
Purification, Prabhu.
Very bold. Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It's for removing our sins and purification also, because we are gathering our sins now from years, so that's why.
Very good. Jubi Mataji, Jiveshri Mataji, why do we chant?
Hare Krishna. We get Krishna Prema. Bhagavan like his glorification. Nama and Nami same. So we want more chant. We attracted to Krishna more.
So we are attracted to Krishna more. Yes, very good. All the answers are correct. But the main reason we chant is something else. For the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. That is the prime reason that we chant. We do other devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, all these things. So the main reason we forgot. If you love somebody, what do? If you love a person, whatever that person likes, you want to do. For their pleasure. For their pleasure. Okay, we have to make that person happy. Isn't it? So whatever that person likes, we should do. Bhagavan gets pleasure when we do devotional service. So our prime or main activity, is just to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pleasure. All other thing, whatever is said, will take place. It's a byproduct. It's secondary. It's secondary. It takes place. Definitely, when we chant, purification of the heart, consciousness, everything take place. Everything will be there, whatever you said, everything. But the main reason that we chant, our chanting should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead for his pleasure. That's it. We do this thing, agriculture, okay? And rice and wheat and other things. Why do we get, for what? To get rice and wheat, not to get the hay. Getting hay is a byproduct. Getting, and what you call the sugar cane. What is the main purpose? To get sugar out of it, isn't it? And again, after taking out, removing the sugar, the hay is used for something else. That's a secondary, and that's a byproduct. Similarly, we chant and perform other devotional service for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the secondary result, okay, the byproducts are consciousness gets purified, our mind gets purified, all other, our existence gets purified, all such byproducts. So here it said that, but the saint is far above the level of an ordinary man. He is always absorbed in glorifying the Supreme Lord, because by broadcasting the holy name and fame of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the translators like Srimad Bhagavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. While preparing this commendation on this particular stanza of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a crisis before us. Prabhupada is telling. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with a militaristic spirit. So that time when Prabhupada was translating this particular verse, there was an attack from China towards India. We have particularly no business in the political field. Yet we see that previously there were both China and India, and they both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness. Before, they were friends because both the countries were God conscious people. Now China is atheistic country. They don't believe in God. So they oppose God conscious people. So every country over the surface of the world was God fearing, pure hearted and simple, and there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no cause of quarrel between the two countries, China and India, our land, which is not very suitable for habitation. And certainly there is no cause for fighting on this issue. But due to the age of quarrel, Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on slight provocation. So it is the influence of the age of Kali, because the symptom of Kali Yuga is quarrel and hypocrisy. So for even, slight provocation, there'll be war, there'll be quarrel. So this is due not to the issue in question, but to the polluted atmosphere of this age. Systematically, there is a propaganda by a section of people to stop glorification of the name and fame of the Supreme Lord. So every country, they are going towards that atheistic mentality. So they are against God conscious people. They are against glorification of the name and fame of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, there is a great need for disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. We have to bring those people who have got misdirected toward God consciousness. That is what our agenda is. We have to, when all are devotees, there will not be any quarrel. The society will function very smoothly. So we have to make, within our capacity, whatever possible we should do to make others Krishna conscious, God conscious. So there is a great need for disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Only through scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam we can make them devotees. So it's a duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world, to do all the supermost good, as well as to bring about the desired peace in the world. That's why Prabhupada gives the utmost importance for book distribution. especially Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavad. So once they get the book and read, and their consciousness can be cleansed, the mind will be purified. So they will not act the way they are acting now. They will not pick up arguments or trivial matters. And if all of our devotees, there'll be adjustment, there'll be sacrifice, there'll be friendship, and they will have cooperation and unity. So this place will be like Vaikuntha. Anyway, one person cannot do. Everyone should try their best. So slowly and gradually, we can make a good society. That's what Prabhupada says here. So because India now, the onus is on us. The responsibility is on us. That is what Prabhupada says. Because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work. What we have neglected? We have neglected propagating Krishna consciousness to others. Okay, giving this or disseminating this message of Srimad Bhagavatam to people around the world. We have failed in that duty by neglecting this responsible work. There is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. So Prabhupada is blaming us only for that. Why there is quarrel? No, why the children are going off track? It is to a certain extent, it is a mistake of the parents. From the young age itself, if they are directed properly, if they are taught values of life, cultures of life, okay, then they would not get misdirected. Whatever the parents are doing, the children are copying. So we should be pure at heart, we should be good citizens, sane citizens, and we should teach. Similarly, Bharat, India is a place where these devotional activities and spiritual activities are there. Other places are not having this. So it is our duty, Prabhupada says, it's our duty to disseminate this knowledge. Since we have failed, there is quarrel everywhere in the world. So it's our failure that we have not accepted this and we have not imparted this to others. So we are confident that if the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, suddenly there will be a change of heart and naturally the people in general will follow them. So the saintly personalities, the leaders of the world should follow and should impart this to others also. So, Yadat Aradi Achardi Sreshtas, whatever the leaders or the personalities, famous personalities, performed or does, common man will follow. So the leaders will show us the example or direct us what we are supposed to do. You know, we all know that the present days people, they are following the film stars, the sports stars, the ministers, the politicians and all. Instead of following them, we should follow saintly personalities. We should follow Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the instruction given in them. So the mass of people in general are tools in the hands of the modern politicians and leaders of the people. If there is a change of heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. So those who are guiding should be saintly personalities, having good qualities. Okay? And they should have all the qualities that a person should have. We should not be like two-legged animals. We are human beings, but our activities are like animals' activities. That should not be the case. There should be saintly personalities who should guide the common people, and the common people will definitely listen to saintly personalities. So it is their duty. So we all can guide our juniors to the extent that it is possible by our activities, by our behavior. We can cultivate them, we can change their lives. So everyone has to take a responsibility of practicing this and imparting this to others to the extent possible. So we know that our honest attempt to present this great literature conveying transcendent messages for reviving the consciousness of the people in general and re-spiritualizing the world atmosphere is fraught with many difficulties. Prabhupada is telling, his honest attempt to give this to the people around the world, he is also finding it very difficult because a lot of oppositions are there and so much of impediments are there on the way he has to undergo. But still, he is not stepping back. He is trying his level best to please the Supreme Lord to help other people. So our presenting this matter in adequate language, especially a foreign language, because he is writing this, translating in a foreign language, English language, which is not his native language, will certainly fail because he is not a native English speaker. But still, he has done his best, which even the English speakers or native English people could not do it. He has done such an amazing work. Even English people will not be able to do the way that Prabhupada has given. Especially a foreign language will certainly fail. And that is his humility, Prabhupada's humility. And there will be so many literary discrepancies. There will be a lot of literary discrepancies in his translation, despite our honest attempt to present it in the proper way. So, but we are sure that with our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into consideration, and the leaders of society will still accept this due to his being an honest attempt to glorify the Lord. So Prabhupada is requesting, even though there may be some discrepancies, some shortcomings, some errors, I'm sure considering his attempt to give the right message to the people, will attempt, and he is trying to attempt to glorify the Almighty God. When there is fire in a house, the inmates of the house go out to get help from the neighbors who may be foreigners, and yet without knowing the language, the victims of the fire express themselves, and the neighbors understand the need, even though not expressed in the same language. Prabhupada is giving an analogy here. Okay. That when there is a fire, what we do, we'll just go outside. We may not be knowing the neighbors. They may be from different countries. They don't speak our language. We don't speak their language. They don't speak our language. So even somehow with sign language, somehow we'll express our difficulties and they will try to help us. That is exactly what Prabhupada says. Even though it is not perfectly composed, the idea behind it, the reason behind it, the purpose behind it, everyone knows. So they will accept it. So we should broadcast this message. So the same spirit of cooperation is needed to broadcast this transcendental message of the Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the polluted atmosphere of the world. After all, it is a technical science of spiritual values, and thus we are concerned with the techniques and not with the language. If the techniques of great list of this daily literature are understood by the people of this world, there will be success. Even if you are not successful. Yes,
Your voice is breaking. I don't know, for me or for all, is it breaking?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Rama Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Is it okay?
No,
No,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Not
No,
clear,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
You can see my screen. Are you good?
Yes,
You can
Prabhuji,
see
we
you
can
can
see,
see your screen, Prabhu.
But
but the
else?
voice is not clear.
But
Voice
for
is-
me, on the screen, it says that it has been paused screen sharing. Siddha Gauranga dasa has paused screen sharing. That message is coming for me. I don't know why.
Yes,
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 Prabhuji. Same
same here,
message.
Prabhu. Same here.
Let me. Now, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. There is some net problem, I think. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Is it clear now? No? Still
No, Prabhuji. No.
maybe some
Screen is okay,
screen is okay, but
but
voice
your
is not.
voice is Prabhuji is still breaking actually. So screen is your voice is still breaking. Screen, if you are scrolling up and down, we can see, but voice whenever
We'll put up the video for some time.
you are chanting, still it is jittering and
We'll put up the video. Please put up the video for some time.
yeah, you can try Prabhuji turning off the video. We can see
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
better,
Rama. Hare
better
Krishna.
Prabhuji than before.
Now better, Prabhu, now better.
Better,
Now
No,
better.
better.
better, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay. So if the techniques of this great literature are understood by the
Prabhuji,
people,
without Hare Krishna, Prabhu, sorry to interrupt, but I think without video we may have to continue. Maybe then
okay,
only it is, once you're turning on, again the same problem.
okay, then I will put up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So okay, clear?
Clear, Prabhu, clear.
Okay. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, they will be successful. Even if we are not successful in our endeavor. Okay. See, Jatayu, was she successful in her endeavor?
No, Prabhu.
No. But Lord Rama's pleased, isn't it? So it is not the success, it is the effort, our attitude that what matters. No, we should try our level best, whether we are successful or not successful, that is immaterial. We try sincerely, put in our effort for the pleasure of Surya personality, even if we are not successful. Okay, people go for book distribution. Sometimes not even single book is sold or distributed. But what Prabhupada says is your effort, your sincere effort. If our sincere effort is there, Supreme Lord's blessings will be there and we will be successful. So the effort is counted, our attitude is counted, okay, not the success or failure. So when there are too many materialistic activities by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person or a nation attacks another person or nation on slight provocation. Because they are not God conscious. So there is no cooperation, no support, no compromise or sacrifice in either side. So there'll be chaos, there'll be quarrels, there'll be war. See, if they're all God conscious, the central point, the central focal point is Krishna, and our aim is to please Lord Krishna. So there will be some cooperation, some sacrifice, some adjustment. So they won't be, most probably, we can avoid war and other frictions. So that is the rule of this age of Kali or quarrel. Because we are not God conscious in this age of Kali, because it is the symptom itself is quarrel and hypocrisy. So it is what to happen. It will happen. The atmosphere is already polluted with corruption of all description, and everyone knows it well. There are so many unwanted literatures full of materialistic ideas of sense gratification. We know that more than any scriptures, the mundane literatures have market. Okay, people are interested in that. In many countries, there are bodies appointed by state to detect and censor obscene literatures. Prabhupada is telling that time, because it is rampant in the present age. It is more. Prabhupada is talking about, detecting and censoring obscene literature. Now in any form you will find this. Those days it was in literature form. Now you name it, all forms you will find it. That's the present scenario. This means that neither the government nor the responsibilities of the public want such literatures. Yet it is in the marketplace because the people want it for sense gratification. The people in general want to read. That is a natural instinct. But because their minds are polluted, they want such literatures. Because their minds are polluted because of what? Because in the mode of ignorance they are. Their consciousness is in the mode of ignorance. So unless and until we rise to the mode of goodness, we'll be addicted to such literatures only. So under the circumstances, trans literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt mind of the people in general, but also it will supply food for the hankering after reading some interesting literatures. In the beginning, they may not like it, because one suffering from jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy, but we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. So Prabhupada is again giving a good analogy here. Anything good, initially, even nectar we'll find like poison. But over a period of time, we know the importance of that. Although initially we felt it's poison, but naturally it will be nectar at the end. But on the other hand, anything that looks nectarian in the beginning will turn out to be poison at the end. So here, when we get jaundice, what is the remedy? Sugar candy. But sugar candy, it will taste bitter, isn't it? For those who are having jaundice, the sugar candy will be bitter. But after a period of time, when you consume it, you will be cured from the jaundice and you will relish the sweetness of the sugar candy. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which will act like sugar candy for the jaundice-like condition of sense gratification. So we're all having jaundice, no? And what is the medicine? Sugar candy. The medicine for us is Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, definitely our jaundice, the sickness will go away. When men have a taste for these literatures, the other literatures which are creating poison, catering poison to society, will then automatically cease. So when we get a taste of Srimad Bhagavatam, all other mundane literatures will take a back seat. We will not find any interest in such literatures. So we should practice the readings Srimad Bhagavatam and purify our consciousness, at the same time give to others also. So we are sure, therefore, that everyone in human society will be welcome Srimad Bhagavatam, even though it is now presented with so many faults. For it is recommended by Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared in this chapter. So Prabhupada is telling that, therefore, everyone in human society should welcome Srimad Bhagavatam, because that's the only remedy for people like us who are having jaundice-like disease or sickness. So to cure that sickness, our sickness here is in our hankering for material happiness. So this can go only by introducing Srimad Bhagavatam in our lives. We should read Srimad Bhagavatam, we should glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we should chant His holy name, we should discuss His pastimes. Then slowly and gradually, what will happen? All our anarthas, all our tendencies to enjoy the senses will start diminishing, and we'll find taste in, or we'll start relishing the scriptures that is related to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is recommended by Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared in this chapter. Okay. Narada's instructions to Vyasadeva. Okay. So please compile this great literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which are full of glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His pure devotees. That alone can bringing a revolution to the misdirected people of this world. That's what Prabhupada says here. It's a beautiful purport. We should read again and again. If you don't understand after reading once what Prabhupada says, read again. Still you don't understand, read again. When we read few times, slowly and gradually we'll try to understand. So we should not read it like novel. We should scrutinizingly study the literatures. That's what Prabhupada says. So we all should practice, and in whatever way possible, we should try to give also. We should not be stingy, or we should not be miser in giving. So whatever we know, whatever we practice, try to give to others, like-minded people. We cannot compel everyone because they are not ready to accept. We should leave them. But at least because of ignorance, if they don't know these things, then we should be able to, and we should try to give to them, because they are ignorant. They are not, against that. They are not having any atheistic mentality. This is what Prabhupada is requesting all of us. Please practice this first, then try to give to others also. So only then the society will go on the right path. We are all misdirected now. Now we should be directed to the right destination. Srimad Bhagavatam is the right literature that can purify the hearts of all of us. So don't try to teach so many, philosophical aspects of Vedas and Puranas and Upanishads. Simply follow the instructions given in Srimad Bhagavatam, try to practice it, and try to impart to the extent possible according to whatever capacity we have. Hare Krishna. So that's it. Text 11. So text 12 is next week. Vancha kalpada rubhesya kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. I go Hari Hari.